This is going to be a quick review of these night lights, so let's get into this. So to begin with, I just want to talk about how many you get in the package. So you do get 2 of these night lights. They are made entirely of plastic. You can see it's a combination of the white on top and the dark brown on the bottom. What you'll notice here is that the plugs here are at the bottom. So when you're plugging this in and the top part of the receptacle, it will not impede the bottom receptacle. So that's terrific. Although I will point out one thing. This has a couple of lights both on the top and on the bottom. So if you do have this on the top receptacle, but you do have something else plugged underneath, you may impede that LED here on the bottom. So just keep that in mind. To get the best efficacy out of this, you want to have nothing plugged in underneath it. Having said that, it is a very attractive looking light. It's got the sensors here. Again, it's got LEDs on the top and an LED on the bottom. It again does have the plugs on the bottom part of the light. And it does have a couple of different options here. So first, on the right side here is you have a positive and a negative button. These allow you to either increase or decrease the brightness, which ranges from 1 to 150 lumens, by either pressing and holding the buttons or pressing repeatedly. It does have 5 different steps here to get to the maximum 150 lumens, and the same going downwards. Or again, you can press and hold it, and I'll demonstrate these in a moment to both increase and decrease the light. On the other side, you do have 3 options here with respect to the length of time that the light stays on. You do have an off setting, 60 seconds and 120 seconds. So there's nothing in between here. It's going to be either 60 or 120 seconds. These night lights do only activate, they're basically dusk to dawn lights. So once it gets dark, it's automatically activated as a result of the sensor detecting the amount of light in a room or a setting. Again, it's a nice combination of the white and brown. But let's get into taking a look at this night light in action, and then we'll do a couple of quick tests to see whether or not it actually can detect me at 16 feet as well as 130 degrees. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I'm just here. I've got the night light plugged in, and you can see that it's on right now, and you can clearly see that it's not impacting the bottom receptacle here in the fuse or the outlet. Just a couple of things that I do want to point out. Again, here you have 60 or 120 seconds on this side, and you do have the ability to increase and decrease the brightness here. So I'll just demonstrate that quickly. So if you want to decrease, because I do have it on the maximum, if you want to decrease, you can hold it, and you can see that it begins to go down until it reaches the minimum. At that point, it just starts flashing. And again, I'll increase it to the maximum. And you see it's a little bit quicker when you're increasing the brightness. The other option again is also just to press these buttons. There you go, that's the bottom. And if you want to increase the brightness, you're just pressing and clicking. Here you can hear the sound. And there it is at its brightest level. So it does light up quite a bit of an area here. So let me just back away here for a moment. And you can see it's a semicircular light here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to test whether or not this will detect me from 16 feet away as per the claim of the listing, as well as the 130 degree angle. So I'll be right back, and then we'll give these a quick test. Okay, so I've now got this night light plugged in. We are exactly 16 feet away. Now you'll notice that you're just looking at a black screen. The reason that's the case is because it is off right now. So what I'm going to try and do is activate it by just moving back and forth, or sorry, left to right a little bit, and swaying back and forth to see whether or not it'll actually turn this night light on and see whether it detects me at 16 feet. I did use a tape measure to measure out that distance. So let's try this. Okay, so there you go. So at 16 feet, it clearly is able to detect me. Now I do have it zoomed in here. I can just quickly zoom out and you can see the distance is 16 feet. And so the light actually does a good job in being able to detect me. Now one thing about these motion sensors is if you're going across their path, they do work a little bit better than if you're heading directly at them. So in my case, again, I was just moving left and right slightly to see if I could activate it at 16 feet, and that did certainly pass the test. So the next test I'm just going to do is we're just going to check the angle to see whether or not it can actually detect me at a range of about 130 degrees. So we'll just be right back and we'll try that test next. Okay, so I'm back now, and again, you will notice that you're looking at a black image. I'm standing at about 90 degrees to the nightlight, and what I'm just going to do is start walking at an angle to see at what point the light actually detects me, and then since it turns on and has a pattern of a semicircle, we'll be able to take a rough guesstimate in terms of whether or not it's actually able to capture me at 130 degrees. Now, because it's a semicircle, we're looking at 65 degrees on either the side of the nightlight. So let's just take a quick little movement here and see. Okay, so if we just zoom out a little bit here, you can see where the light is and where I'm standing. So if I was to guess, I would say that's probably closer to maybe 75, possibly even 80 degrees. You can see that if I was standing right against the wooden frames here, I'd be at roughly 90 degrees, but I'm standing at about right here. So if you were to measure that, again, I do not have any instruments to measure it, but I would certainly say that probably meets the 65 degrees in terms of the angle here and actually exceeds it. So I would say that this certainly passes the test. Now, I'm obviously not that far away, as you can see, just about 4 feet away. But just keep that in mind. But again, in terms of the angle, it certainly exceeds the 65 degrees as far as I'm concerned. So for this test, I would also say this is also a pass. So again, this is a light that claims to capture you at 16 feet and 130 degrees. It does both of those. It only uses 2 watts of power and does that well. So as it goes off here, I'm going to sign off as well. And this has been a quick little review of these night lights, and we'll see you on the next one.
And I like them. A lot of light. Look at that. That's impressive.
Schrott. Es macht gar nichts. Schrott. Total defekt.